Hey, hello guys, today I'm gonna demo another way to operate your AutoDustBoot. So when you start having an ATC, so you need to modify your PostProcessor to actually operate the AutoDustBoot during the tool change. So basically we want it to retract and expand during the tool change. There's a different way to do this on different cam, so Betrix, and also adding the combination of a different CNC. For example, you have a Masso or you have a gearball based CNC. Instead of me creating a post processor specific for Betrix Masso, Betrix gearball, or Fusion 360 for Masso and Fusion 360 for Betrix, and there's also a Carbico. I actually created a utility to insert a specific command on a specific time. I'll show you what I'm using right now. So to begin, in here I have a Fusion 360. In this case, I'm using Gearball plus processor for AltMill. So I'm gonna do process all and then okay. So this will generate an NC file. So let's look on the NC file that was generated. So let me go back. Just want to make sure where it's in dump. Okay, it's a volume CNC. So if I go to my target location, modified, when is the modified? Today, this one, a Falcon Creek. So let's open this on some text editor, which is I use Visual Code. So we can look, there's an M6 command. And then followed by spindle, ramp up spindle speed for 10,000, and then that's M8. If we do a more M6, do find M6, so we have, I think there's a 3 M6, that says here 3. So there we have a 3 tool on this programming. So one T1, T2, T1, T2, T3. So let's actually run this. So I'm gonna connect to my, wait, give a second, to my AltMill, and then I'm gonna load that file. So it's here, ZimaCube, CNC, Falcon Creek. So I'm gonna first go to my home location. I'm gonna set up my AutoDustBoot height. Double click it and then retract, and then I think let's just double check the Z height. Again, I'm just gonna cut on the air just for the demo. Now I'm gonna start clicking run. So it operates nicely. It's a retract, expand, but this is where it needs to be improved. So you see when the X start moving, the AutoDustBoot is already going down. My solution before is on my macro, every time I finish the tool change, I move 100 millimeter here and before issuing expand command. But I took it off, so now every time it moves, you can see the brush is actually hitting the magazine. The ideal is I actually want the AutoDustBoot to expand before the first plunge of the spindle after the tool change. That's what I created a utility for that. So let's just wait to finish this, and then I can show you the tools that I created. Okay, it's done. So now I'm gonna go to my GitHub. I already checked this in GitHub /Siegenberg, and then we go to G-code utility. These are the small the code that I wrote. It's like a post processor too, but it's outside of your cam. So what you need to do is like, after you generate a G-code or NC file from your favorite cam, all you need to do is execute this command, feed that file, and this utility will generate a new file, a modified file with a proper, with the right timing where the expand and retraction is inserted. So you can read on all the description, but you just go to the release and then click the platform that you need to run this. So in my case, I'm on Apple Mac OS with the Apple Silicon, so it's ARM64 OS X ARM64. Okay, here extract it. Okay, there you go. And then on the Mac OS, they're kind of like a little bit restrict, so I need to execute this code sign so it won't complain. Let me just do this, copy this command, and then I'm just gonna go to, I think I extracted it in my download folder. Oops, download. And then yeah, so I just execute that command. So if I execute the G-code util, and then I pass the file. So remember I generated this file on CNC Falcon Creek NC, which is actually open here right now. So you can check the difference between the two. So I'm gonna pass the file. What's the file name? I think it's in volume CNC allow Falcon Quick, and then enter. Oops. Another thing is this Mac was very strict, so we also need to go to the privacy settings, and then we can just here G-code util allow. You probably don't need that to do on Windows, but on Mac it's very strict. Open anyway, and then okay, there you go. It execute. It says modified file saved to the same path, but there's an underscore modified NC. So let's look at that file. So the new one is this guy. Actually, no, modified. This one. It's a new one. So let's drag this to. Let's actually open this. Okay, here. See the M6 command, and then spindle speed, and then it's already going to the X movement, and that's where the M8 is inserted, plus another delay dwelling G4 P1, which is 1 second delay. I just give 1 second delay to give time to the AutoDustBoot to fully expand. So look at that, that's the difference. So the M8 here is even before the X movement, but here the M8 is after the X movement, then before the Z movement. So let's load that file to our GSender and then modify. It's the same file. So now I'm gonna run it. See if I can make this closer. So I'm gonna run it. See, the AutoDustBoot doesn't move, only moves when it reaches the right location. So this is much better approach. There's a few advantages, like it doesn't hit your magazine, and if you have some fixture or that very high, you also avoid that hitting on the AutoDustBoot. And separate utility is much better too, because I don't need to give a lot of different PostProcessor for different cam, and also different CNC controller. Like AltMill is based on gearball. It's a gearball base. Masso is also gearball based, but it has its own way of emitting a G code. Like they have an N number, but I don't think it's as important. But okay, we're on the last bit. I tried this on a Masso generated file, and it seems the modified file is correct, but I haven't tested it because I don't have any more the Onefinity with me. But this one is a gearball, already tested it. So if you're interested, just try it yourself. Download it has a binary for Linux and Mac and Windows. Yeah, let me know if you found some issue. Planning to actually modify this, add more features. For example, I want to add a features like watch. It automatically watch. You basically run this, and you said, "Hey, watch this folder." So anything that you dump in there will automatically modified. So you don't. It's a less manual work. You just need to execute it one time, and you will just keep watching the folder where you always dump your NC files. And another one is if you look on the documentation, there's a bunch of overrides. So in the demo, I show it to you that I only executed like G-code util and then passing the path of where the NC file is. There's a second parameter that, you know what, M8 is not the one I'm using. I'm actually using M664 to turn on. And then I also want maybe a delay. Instead of 1 second, I want a delay of 5-6 seconds because I'm using a PWM, which doesn't have a feedback on speed and it relies on static delay. So I'm gonna do that just for the demo, and let's see what will happen. Also, you know what? I also want to do comma separated space. Sorry. So I also still want an M8 there. In fact, I also want to do the M7 there. So M7, M8, M64. Actually, M64 P0. This is for AltMill. If you're using a G4 P6 seconds. So let's enter this. Okay, and let's look at the modified G code. So now you see after the X and Y movement, there's M8, M7, M64, P0, and G4 P6 in 6 seconds. And then before it starts moving in the Z-axis. One enhancement I'm probably gonna add is you can just predefine your variables like for this, like the second parameters, you put an environment variable, so you don't need to specify it all the time. So you just have a settings that you can just, you know what, these are all the parameters I always use. I don't want to keep specifying it every time I want to execute it. Especially if this is already a utility that already watch your folder. So you probably need a place to specify all the default parameters specific for your needs. Yep. Okay. Hopefully this utility can help you on having the AutoDustBoot and ATC. If you found any issue, just create a bug on the GitHub and I'll see if I can fix it. Like I said, I only tested this on Gearball Hull and AltMill. I haven't tested this on Onefinity yet or the Masso. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye.